Hello, dear viewers, and welcome to Live to Learn. Um, we are starting with the series about autonomic nervous system. I would like to start with the general physiological aspects of this autonomic nervous system, um, and we will gradually, as we proceed to our next, as through our next videos, we will be covering the general aspects. We will covering the receptors and the mediators, and as well as the pharmacology of autonomic nervous system. But today, in the beginning of this series, we will start just with a just brief introduction of the physiology of the autonomic nervous system. And why that? Because this is one of the topics that the most of the students feel they can never master, and perhaps it's not as easy as it likes to be. So we will start it. I will show you some slides and I will explain to you about autonomic nervous system. But the main things, the main points that I want to talk to you before we go to the further details, the points are: you don't have to cram anything. You don't have to know everything, each and every point about autonomic nervous system, because it's actually impossible to know. What we will try to do, the key features, the key points, just keep in your mind, write it out anywhere so that you can consult it. um, but you don't have to cram everything, and it is not the purpose as well, because we have the books for that, we have internet, we have many resources nowadays available, so you can consult these resources anytime later when you need something specific to know. So we will start just with a brief introduction, and then we will go further. So we start with the autonomic nervous system.
Dear friends, there are many vital processes continuously going on in our body without our conscious knowledge. For example, our sleep patterns, the breathing that is continuously going on. When we have to eat something, we have to do the process of swallowing, and similarly, the other ones. These are all known as vegetative processes. And as the autonomic nervous system is controlling the vegetative activities, it's also known as vegetative or visceral nervous system. It works in a close coordination with the central nervous system, but parallel to it, and it is controlling mainly our involuntary muscle movements and involuntary activities. We can divide the autonomic nervous system in two main divisions: the sympathetic component and the parasympathetic component. The sympathetic autonomic nervous system is also vaguely regarded as fight and flight system because it prepares the body for the stress situations, whereas the parasympathetic one is also called rest and digest because it is just making the body normal activities to do and doing working in the resting position, in the resting state of the body. The autonomic nervous system is also composed of the nerve fibers, as is the case with the somatic one. And the nerve fibers, they are generated, they are originated from brainstem or spinal cord. And the fiber is typically made of three components when we are talking about the autonomic nervous system or the autonomic nerve fibers. And these components are the two neurons and a very special structure known as ganglion. A ganglion is actually a group, a mass of the neuronal cell bodies, which is located outside of the central nervous system. The first neuron of the autonomic nerve fiber will be originated from brainstem or spinal cord, and it will terminate into the ganglion, and therefore it is known as the preganglionic neuron. The second one has its origin in the ganglion, and it is moving towards the effector organ and terminating in the effector organ directly. The effector organ can be a muscle, it can be a gland or something like that, that has to show the response of the impulse. So there are three components and two neurons involved in an autonomic nerve fiber as compared to the somatic nerve fiber, where there's only one neuron running from brainstem from its origin to the terminal point, that's the effector organ. The sympathetic division, as mentioned before, It is that component of the autonomic nervous system that takes the charge of the body in stress conditions. For example, when someone is very hungry, when someone has a fear and fright situations, or certain other stress factors, and it will stimulate the body processes. For example, everything will be increased, the heart rate will be increased, the cardiac output will be increased, and in this way, the sympathetic component of the ANS, it prepares the body for something extraordinary to perform in under stress conditions and stress situations. On the other hand, the parasympathetic component, it is mainly working in optimal resting conditions of the body. It regulates many vital functions and involuntary processes, movements of the body, breathing, swallowing, as discussed before. And the second most important function of the parasympathetic division is when we have to confront a stress situation, and once it is over, the stress factor is gone. The body has to come back into the normal position, into the optimal position, and there is that's the point where the parasympathetic nervous system will again come into play and reduce the cardiac output, for example, and other factors.
Um, that was the brief introduction. A brief, I would say, not physiology, but I will use the term rather pharmacological physiology of the autonomic nervous system. What is it? It is actually the baffling fact that the difference between the two components of the autonomic nervous system. I would like to explain it through an interesting example from my personal life. Um, it is yet not to forget. As a child, I had a great fear of dogs, and I would actually change my path. I would actually change the street. I will change the way if I see a dog coming to me, and that also unattended. And what is the difference between the parasympathetic and the sympathetic autonomic nervous system? You can imagine now. I am walking in a street. There is no dog. Everything is at optimal. My breathing is normal, my breathing pattern is normal, my heartbeat is normal, everything is functioning superb. But suddenly I see that a dog is coming across the street, and this is the time, the glimpse of the dog coming to me, the fear rises in me, and the parasympathetic component of the autonomic nervous system will take over the sympathetic one. And what will happen? I will just feel a rise in my blood pressure, I will just feel a rise in my heart rate, and suddenly my body is ready to run, ready to do something extraordinary that I had actually not decided to do before I saw the dog coming to me. So, this is the difference between the two components of the autonomic nervous system. When you are in a resting state, the parasympathetic system is the master of your body, and when you have any circumstances, any situation where you have to do out of the box something, you have to do something extraordinary, you have to cope with the situation, suddenly with the sympathetic component jumping in and holding on the situation. Dear students and viewers, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe and share, and don't forget to hit the bell button so that you will get the notifications as the new videos will be uploaded from me. And as I have told in the beginning of the video, we will be doing a series of the video. I don't know, I have not planned this 3 4 5, but I will definitely go in details, especially from the pharmacological aspects of the autonomic nervous system, but this with the time. And I will see the response to this video, and we will be coming back, we will be in touch. So don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much, and take care of yourself and the people around you.